Dear brothers and sisters, I would like to begin by sharing with you a very personal moment. Some time ago, during a period of great difficulty, I found myself deeply reflecting on the nature of purgatory and hell. I was filled with fears and doubts, just as many of you might be today. In that moment of confusion, I found comfort and enlightenment in the words of Saint Catherine of Genoa, which guided me toward a deeper and more reassuring understanding of these mysteries of our faith. Yes, because we often think of purgatory as a temporary hell, a temporary prison where souls suffer while awaiting liberation. But today, thanks to the writings of this extraordinary saint, I want to share a new and revolutionary truth, a truth that illuminates our path with the light of divine love, a truth that offers a vision that explains exactly the reality of hell and purgatory. Saint Catherine of Genoa, who lived between 1447 and 1510, offers us a vision of purgatory that challenges traditional conceptions. In her Treatise on Purgatory, she describes it not as a simple place of punishment, but as the kingdom of love, a gift of divine mercy to restore the order disrupted by sin. Imagine, brothers and sisters, a fire of love that consumes the rust of sin, a love so pure and overwhelming that souls abandon themselves to it with joy, despite the pain. This is purgatory according to Saint Catherine, a place where souls experience true happiness in total adherence to God's will. But what do these words of Saint Catherine mean, and how is it possible for souls to experience God's love in a place of suffering? Catherine shows us that souls in purgatory do not look at themselves, nor at other souls, but have their gaze fixed in the hope of union with God. It is the lack of this union, the absence of God, that causes their suffering. Yet this suffering is a blessing, a sign of purification that brings them ever closer to divine perfection. It is like gold in the crucible, which is purified by fire until it becomes bright and pure. Thus, the souls, in the fire of love, are purified from the impurities of sin and prepared for the glorious encounter with the Lord. Purification, according to Saint Catherine, occurs through sensible pains, similar to those of fire. This concept follows the theory of Saint Thomas Aquinas, who held that souls can suffer sensible pains. Yet, suffering is not an end in itself, but a means through which the soul is freed from the rust of sin and opens evermore to the influence of God. Catherine sees this process as an act of divine mercy. The soul, recognizing its own impurity, voluntarily throws itself into purgatory to be purified and made worthy of union with God. Now let's talk about hell. Saint Catherine also offers us a vision of hell that reflects God's wisdom and justice. When the soul separates from the body, it moves towards the place appropriate to its nature. If the soul is in a state of mortal sin, it chooses hell itself, guided by the nature of the sin. It is a choice that stems from the will to sin, from the persistence in rejecting divine love. Hell, therefore, is not a place imposed by God, but a destination chosen by the soul that has irrevocably distanced itself from divine mercy. The difference between souls that go to purgatory and those that end up in hell is the state of guilt and the will to sin. The souls in purgatory have acknowledged their sins and desire purification. They are souls that, despite their impurity, aspire to God's love and accept the purification process with joy and hope. The souls that choose hell, instead, are those that reject God and persist in their will to sin. Purgatory, according to Saint Catherine, is therefore a place of mercy and hope. The souls there are immersed in the fire of divine love, a fire that purifies them and prepares them for full communion with God. The suffering they experience is nothing but the effect of purification, a sign of God's love that transforms them and makes them worthy of paradise. It is suffering they accept with joy, because they know that through it they are realizing their eternal destiny, the perfect union with God. Dear brothers and sisters, it is time to change our way of seeing purgatory. It is not a temporary hell, but a gift of divine love, an opportunity to purify our souls and prepare for the encounter with God. It is a place where we can experience true happiness, total adherence to the divine will, without any regard for ourselves. It is a process of transformation that makes us more and more like Christ, that frees us from the impurities of sin and makes us partakers of God's eternal glory.
I even see from God's side that paradise has no door. Whoever wants to enter, enters, because God is all mercy and stands towards us with open arms to receive us into His glory. But I also see that divine essence to be of such purity and cleanness, much more than we can imagine, that the soul, which has in itself so much imperfection as would be a tiny speck, would rather throw itself into 1,000 hells than find itself in the presence of divine majesty without blemish. And therefore, seeing purgatory ordered to remove those blemishes, it throws itself in, and seems to find great mercy in being able to remove that impediment.
So, brothers and sisters, let us be guided by the words of Saint Catherine. Let her vision of purgatory illuminate our spiritual journey. Let us pray for the souls in purgatory, that they may be purified and reach full communion with God. And let us pray for ourselves, that we may live in such a way as to be ready to enter the kingdom of love, to receive God's mercy, and to partake in His eternal glory. Let us remember that the true pain for the souls in purgatory, as Saint Catherine teaches us, is not so much physical pain, but the awareness of having offended God and the burning desire to be reunited with Him. This desire grows as the soul is purified, until it becomes an insatiable thirst for God. It is a painful process, but at the same time full of hope and joy, because it brings the soul ever closer to divine perfection. Here, then, is the great lesson we can draw from the visions of Saint Catherine of Genoa. Purgatory is not a place of despair, but of hope. It is not a temporary hell, but a kingdom of love. It is not a prison, but a crucible of purification. It is a gift of divine mercy, an opportunity to purify our souls and prepare for the encounter with God. May this vision inspire us to live with faith and trust in God's mercy, to always seek purification, and to desire union with Him above all else. May it help us to see purgatory not as a place of pain, but as a gift of love, a sign of divine wisdom and mercy. Brothers and sisters, let us pray together that we may live in such a way as to be ready to enter the kingdom of love, to receive God's mercy, and to partake in His eternal glory. Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the new videos, and to become part of the community of faith and prayer. May God bless us all.